Okay, flip the page and go to the other. We're going to do subtraction. Construct an angle whose measure is equal to the difference of the measures of the angle. So we're going to take this angle and subtract the measure of that angle. And it's very much the same principle. It's hard to tell, but the vertex of this angle is right about there. Okay, very hard to see, very hard to make that little mark. But it looks almost like a 180-degree angle. Maybe it's 175, 178, who knows. But I'm going to make a line down here and a little bit to the right, there. Set your compass to a distance that you know will hit every line involved. So that's going to work, that's going to work, that's going to work. Then I will make an arc from one side of the angle to the other. And I really don't need to continue the arc. I just need a mark here and here. So I will show you what I mean on this angle. All I really need is a mark right there and, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, my hands are in the way, and right there. Okay. And I'm going to need a mark on this one. And this one has to be at least as big, or I need to see the end of it. In this case, it really does help on this third one that I'm making. It does help to draw the whole arc, because I don't know where it's going to be when I take this one. I'm essentially copying this one down and then measuring this and taking away from what I just did. So like in the last one we did, we're going to measure the size of the opening. So put your compass point right there and adjust your compass until it hits right here. And it's going to be very difficult to see because my curve, like for example, when I draw that intersection, you'll see how the circles, it's very hard to see where they overlap. Same thing's going to happen down here. If I make sure my compass does not move. So it's very hard to see where they intersect, but we're going to ballpark it. And then we're going to measure this, shrink it to match the size of the opening. And that, nope, maybe a little bit smaller. That looks about right. So I'm going to go to where I think it intersects, which is difficult to see, but it looks like maybe right there. And I'm going to measure back on the line. So this first arc measurement is the first angle, and then I put my compass at the end and measured back, which is subtracting. And then I'll put my pencil here, slide my straight edge to it, go to the vertex, and do that. So if this were angle A and this were angle B, this angle is the difference between A and B. Moving on now. I'm not going to show how to do a 30 or a 45 because a 30-degree angle can be derived once you know how to make a 60, and a 45-degree angle can be made once you know how to make a 90, just by cutting them in half. So I'm going to go to the 60-degree angle first. And a 60-degree angle, if you remember from the other side, is really 1/3 of an equilateral triangle. So if I set my compass, if I measure a line here, and I measure that, and I make an arc up here and an arc up there, I will create an equilateral triangle. So just like this, I'm just going to make maybe a small mark. I'm not going to actually measure the mark with my ruler, or the line, sorry. But I will take my compass, and I will measure the distance. And I really don't have to measure the distance. I could, in fact, I'm not going to. I'm just going to show you. I'm going to put my compass here, and I'm going to make a mark on the line where my compass mark is. And then I'm going to make another one up here for wherever the top of that triangle would be. Then my compass point will be here on that. I could have actually erased that or done here, but my compass would be set to be bigger. So anyway, here. So now this distance is the same as that distance, which is the same as that distance. So I do have all the vertices for an equilateral triangle, and if I connect this point with that end point down there, this is a 60-degree angle. You need to recreate the same thing up here, but only bisecting the angle. So I'm gonna, well, actually yeah, if there's time, I'll do it. But anyway, you just do an angle bisector, which means your compass, in fact, I will do that here, but I want you to completely redraw it here. So let's imagine we're on number 7 now, and you draw this. You've already got these marks. All you have to do is make 2 additional marks out in the open from those 2 marks there, and then cut it in half. This will cut that 60-degree angle in half and give you a 30-degree angle. So you would need to repeat this process up here. Don't just do it down here. I want to see you do it twice. Now, the 90-degree angle, there's several ways to do it. You can make a perpendicular bisector, whatever. Most of you are comfortable with that, so I'm just going to do that. I'm just going to draw a line, and actually I'm going to do one. I'm not going to measure the whole line. I'm going to make a mark like I did before. I'll make a mark right here. It's very similar to what I did to find a point above. I'm going to do the same thing down below also. So with my compass mark that I made right there, I'm also going to make a mark above and a mark below. And then I'll put my compass on the point that I made here, make a mark above, whoops, don't move it, and make a mark below. Connect the two. And I don't really need the whole thing. I only need this part because this is the 90-degree angle, and this is 90 degrees. All right, so far so good. Then for number 8 up above, you're just going to do the angle bisector like I did for this other one. And I can show you my compass is already, you know, I've got a distance set that will work. So I'm going to, angle bisector means I make a mark above on the line and I make a mark on the other side of the angle. Then I'm going to use those marks to make a mark out in the open, just like this. Now, this mark is exactly the same distance from here to here, and when I connect these lines, this point to the vertex right here, this is a 45-degree angle. So again, you will recopy. You'll have to make a 90-degree angle up here and bisect it. But that's all you need to do for this assignment.